Welcome. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. My name is Nada St. Germain. And for those of you that are meeting me for the first time, I was introduced to Neo Life over 35 years ago, just struggling with women's stuff that we're not going to be talking about tonight. I had fatigue issues and PMS and just joint pain, digestive trouble, allergies. And when you look at some of these things and compared to some of the guys, some of these symptoms happen with guys too. We've always shared this kind of verse where men have hormones too. So we are going to be talking about some of the challenges that men have today. But I have to say that when I started using the products, it changed my life, really had an impact in my life, my mom, and even my dad, medication free. I have to say that his journey, when it comes to heart health, prostate issues, nothing at all. And even the doctors, when he used to have his medicals, they used to say, wow, because he was made his own wine, he drank alcohol, not a lot, but, to a point where, at his age, they were surprised that he didn't have to go on blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication, which is very common as men age. And both my boys, I mean, those are Jack and Luke they're in the picture there in the middle. And I'm so grateful that my boys grew up on the products because they did have an impact on their life, especially Jack, my oldest, who had a brain injury, and he recovered incredibly. And we know it had a lot to do with the good nutrition. So that's what we're going to be focusing on tonight. And the handsome young guys on the right are Maryellen's and Henry's young men. And I know Maryellen and Henry, they're going to share also a little bit about the journey. But let's talk a little bit about some of the concerns that men have. First of all, preventing diabetes and obesity, because as we know, obesity is on the rise. And then when you're looking at heart health and stroke prevention, prostate cancer prevention, erectile dysfunction, healthy joints and gout, athlete's foot and yeast is also some of the challenges that some men tend to struggle with. And when we look at our health and what we should be doing, exercise is something that definitely should be added to not only men, but our lives in general. It's so important. And I always say, find something that you love and do it often. So, find an exercise. It doesn't have to be going to the gym. It could be walking. It could be swimming. If you play sports, but get active and stay active because it's so important to keep the heart pumping and just keep the circulation going. Okay. And also for muscle retention, because as we age, especially men, if you lose that lean muscle mass, you tend to put on more of that belly fat that goes around your waist and around your belly, right? And look at what you're drinking, right? I mean, soda is highly consumed, and the sugar that's in soda pop, and if you do even drink like soda pop that's sweetened with artificial sweeteners, there's also a lot of research saying that that's dangerous as well for our health. So look at what you're drinking. Look at drinking more water, stay hydrated. This is really important to eliminate the pop consumption if you are consuming pop, and watching too much TV, guys. I know that remote control is easy to grab and click around, and I'm not saying never watch TV, but sometimes that tends to pull you away from getting outside and going for a walk and getting active, especially in the summertime, right? Especially when the weather's really nice. So take a look at making some changes to the habits that you have, especially if you're wanting to achieve optimal health. And I like to say age gracefully, right? So these are some of the changes that you might need to make. And sleep, make time to rest. I find that we should be averaging between 7 to 9 hours. I think it depends. Everybody's needs are different. I really struggled with shift work when I was on the police force, and I found that when I wasn't sleeping properly, it really disrupted my hormonal cycle. And even men, I mean, if you're not sleeping properly, if you're not sleeping and fed, you guys are grumpy, right? So it's really important that you're finding that rest and good eating, right? And I like to say it's like a baby, right? If the baby doesn't sleep and the baby doesn't eat properly, they're grumpy too, right? So, but this is so important that you guys are getting proper rest and getting enough sleep. Another challenge that we hear a lot from men in our lives is digestive trouble and acid reflux. So that burping, belching, that acid coming back up. And that's a huge, huge challenge in many men. And I think a lot of times it's because they eat too fast, right? Eat too fast or to overeating. So these are some of the things that we can help you as far as there's some products that you can take to help to, alleviate some of the acid, but maybe even just slowing down, chewing your food more, and just being more mindful of the food that you're consuming to make sure that you're chewing and digesting properly. And if you have severe acid reflux, then you might want to reach out to the person that invited you here tonight, and we can talk about some of the things that we can do for that as well. And when you're looking at prostate cancer and cancer in general, the National Cancer Institute, and even Neolife, we've always talked about a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, particularly cruciferous ones. And those are the smelly ones when you cook them. Okay, so sometimes they're not our favorite. And consuming whole grains, not processed grains. A diet low in saturated fats and high in fish. Very, very important. And again, keeping a healthy body weight and limit alcohol and exercise. So see, these are some of the steps that we recommend when you're looking at lowering the risk of prostate cancer. And then, when you look at your dark colored fruits and veggies, the yellow, the orange, the red, these are all fruits and vegetables that contain antioxidants that are fat soluble, lipid soluble. They help with the immune system, help to prevent macular degeneration, protect against cardiovascular disease and certain cancers, and also keeping your skin very, very healthy. So carotenoids are, for men and women, they are definitely one of our best friends to help to slow aging and to protect our cells from oxidative damage. So from aging, or for guys, I'm more visual as well. It's like rusting from the inside out, right? So metal on a car, when it's exposed to air, it turns brown, right? It rusts. Whereas if you protect that metal, it prevents it from oxidizing. Well, guys, your cells work just like that. When you breathe in oxygen, we are rusting from the inside out, and these carotenoids protect your cells from the oxidative stress, the oxidative damage. So eat your fruits and veggies, right? Don't push them off the side on your plate. Or you can help by supplementing with this amazing product called Carotenoid Complex. And this is a product that Neolife developed that was clinically proven to boost your immune system 37% in just 20 days. Clinically proven. And this bottle has over 280 pounds of fruits and vegetables in every bottle. And it's made from carrots and tomatoes and spinach and apricots and peaches, all made from those dark colored veggies. And then the cruciferous vegetables. We talked a little bit about the smelly vegetables. So like your broccoli, your cabbage, turnip, radish, kale. They protect you against hormonally mediated cancers, such as prostate cancer. They say that we should be eating a cruciferous vegetable every day, 1 serving a day. These cruciferous vegetables, they trigger enzymes that act to block carcinogenic damage to our cell's DNA. So that means cancer-causing agents that destroy the DNA in the inside of the cell. Cruciferous vegetables are known to pull toxins out of our cells. Okay, so that's why this is in the category of prevention. Okay, so eat your cruciferous vegetables every day. Find the smelly ones that you like. Okay, I always say that because I know for me, I love Brussels sprouts, and my son Jack loves them. Luke cannot get them down. So he loves his broccoli. So again, luckily, there's many options of those smelly vegetables that really protect you against hormonally mediated cancers. And this is our Cruciferous Plus. Our Cruciferous is made from the broccoli, radish, kale, black mustard, brown mustard, watercress, orange licorice, soybeans that again help to detoxify the cell. So if you're not a big veggie eater in those smelly veggies, then one of these a day is fantastic again from a prevention standpoint. So as you can see, we have amazing products, and I'm going to have Maryellen Vandenbrink, our holistic nutritionist, join us and just talk a little bit about the science and how these products are created and why they impact people's lives. So Maryellen, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nada. And I was actually introduced to Neolife over 30 years ago, and I got interested because of my two boys. My younger son had a lot of respiratory issues, and it made such a huge difference. Again, we don't treat, diagnose, or cure any disease, but it's amazing what the body can do when it has that right support with a lot of the nutrients that you were talking about. And when you look at one thing that really impressed me when I was introduced to Neolife was the fact that there is doctors and scientists who create the products. They're involved in the research and development. It's not just a good-looking doctor who endorses it. And that's for all our line of products. The whole food supplements, our certified organic skincare, and all of our cleaners. So they're all, they're all based in nature and backed by science. And when you look at the scientific advisory board, these scientists are world renowned. They are published, they're very involved in the scientific community. And Dr. First, the founder of Neolife Scientific Advisory Board, he set up this amazing board of all these scientists and researchers. And they're, like I mentioned, they're involved in the research and development of the products. And Dr. First, he actually was one of the top toxicologists in the world. He was co-founder of oral chemotherapy. And when he was doing his research in cancer, he found nutrients in food prevent disease. And that's why all our products are food-based. And that's why he joined up with Neolife in the 1970s. And the whole philosophy is whole food, cellular nutrition-based ingredients, because you think there's nutrients in our food, there's all sorts of intrinsic factors that work together, and that's how come they're absorbed better in the body and they work so well. And farm to table, non-GMO, there's full traceability. They can actually look at the lot number and know exactly where that seed stock was actually planted and grown. So it's very amazing and clinically proven. The products are actually independently tested and published in peer review journals, and many, Neolife is published in many, many journals. And here's a perfect example of the Neolife omega-3. Like there's a lot of omega-3s on the market, and everybody says, they have the best product. Well, most of them only have two parts, but the main difference with the Neolife salmon oil, it was actually studied and proven to reduce inflammation 68% in just 8 weeks. And this was published in the American College of Nutrition. So a very well-respected.
And I'm not going to play the video, Maryellen, only because it's, I think we had a hard time hearing the volume, but I just want to share that Trevor is a friend of mine and he had an inflamed prostate and he was trying so many different products, fish oils, even saw palmetto, which we know is a herb that's really helpful, and nothing worked. And as soon as you got on the Neolife salmon oil, you know how you showed the inflammation coming down? Incredible. And I think it's been over 20 years that he's been taking the products and has had no reoccurrence. So amazing, amazing results for my dear friend Trevor. So thank you.
Yeah, and it's amazing what inflammation can do. And especially you think the area of the prostate, it makes so much sense that if it's inflamed, it blocks off the flow, it creates so much irritation. But inflammation affects so many diseases like cardiovascular, diabetes, arthritis, neurological, cancer, respiratory. All of these things are all affected by inflammation in the body. And that's the things we want to avoid. So how do we keep our heart healthy? Because cardiovascular health is so important. And that's a big fear because it's like the number one killer. And so many people, are on high blood pressure medication, high cholesterol medication, and they think it's normal. But there is a lot of stuff we can do to keep our heart healthy. And again, here's where the salmon oil plays a role. Omega-3 fatty acids. They keep our cardiovascular system healthy. They prevent cardiovascular events, and they lower triglycerides. It was actually clinically proven to do that. They reduce inflammation and risk factors associated with chronic disease, such as cancer and arthritis. And I know a lot of people, when they get on the salmon oil, they may be taken for one thing. They go, that shoulder that's been bugging me and I don't feel it anymore. And they didn't even realize, because that's the thing, drugs turn systems on and off where nutrition balances the body. And it's so important for cognitive function and emotional well-being and how we feel, important for healthy skin and eyes, and again, for a healthy prostate. Very, very important. And when you look at your cells, Nata, do you want to share how the Trianen plays such a role in cellular health?
Yeah, and this is what drew me to the company, Maryellen, when I first saw this because of the fatigue and the hormonal issues. And Trianen, was something that Neolife developed in 1958. The first product that was introduced to the company, what started the company actually. And when you look at your cell, the cell membrane is made up of these grain oils, these lipids that keep the cell membrane soft and permeable, so nutrients can go in and waste can go out, like the cell on the right. But because these grain oils are no longer in our diet because of milling and processing, our cells look like the cell on the left. So very tired, very sluggish. Nutrients can't get in and waste can't get out. And Texas A&M University, they took the Neolife Trianen and they proved that your cells will absorb nutrients from your diet by 50% more, which is so powerful. So again, just better nutrient utilization. So why whole grains? Well, they used to grind your wheat, make the flour, and make the bread. And the breads only had a day shelf life. Well, they started milling and processing our grains in the 30s and 40s. And this is why, like, we're third and fourth generation not having these essential lipids in our diet. And this is why this is one of the greatest deficiencies because of the refining. We call it the great grain robbery because of mass production, longer shelf life. They remove all these critical nutrients and you're left with this kind of white flour, starch, protein, gluten. So our cells are just not functioning optimally. So important to supplement with Trianen grain concentrate. And there's only two ways to get this. I mean, you can buy organic non-GMO grains somewhere, I don't know where, and grind everything and make your own flours and breads, but it's hard. Whereas Trianen, even if you just take one of these that's in our vitamin pack, the calories are so much less, but you're guaranteed to get non-GMO nutrients from this amazing product called Trianen and getting your cells working better. So just a great way to supplement what's missing in our diet. And it comes in this amazing vitamin pack called Pro Vitality. So 4 of these nutrients in this pack cover those nutrients that Maryellen and I just talked about, your carotenoid, your Trianen grain concentrate, an omega-3 fish oil, and a multivitamin. So for men, this is a great multivitamin pack because there's very little iron because most men don't need extra iron. So it's a great foundation for men to start with this amazing Pro Vitality pack. And the nutrients in this pack, 12 pounds of whole grain, 80 pounds of raw fruits and vegetables, and 10 servings of omega-3 fish in every box. And that's a month's supply. So again, just a great way to fill the gaps that are missing in your diet. So Maryellen, how can we prevent diabetes and obesity? Because I know that's another challenge that's happening with some of our men around the world.
Yeah, it's a huge problem. And they say actually so many people are walking around pre-diabetic and they don't even know it. And a lot of it is because of being overweight and poor food choices. So look at the global health crisis. There's been 100% increase in pre-diabetes and diabetes since 2006 and 2030. It's a huge problem out there. And so what is the big deal about it? Well, the health consequences are, number one, you reduced insulin sensitivity, which increases your chance of type 2 diabetes. And then you get into that metabolic syndrome, and you hear that a lot. That's where people start on the blood pressure, the high cholesterol, high triglycerides. The risk of heart disease starts increasing and lots of joint problems. So what's the 5 steps to protect against diabetes? You're kind of noticing a trend here, right? Whole grains, fruits and vegetables, fish, healthy weight, and exercise. So this basic good lifestyle change is the key for preventing diabetes and heart disease and prostate cancer. So what does protein do with your blood sugar? Why is it so important? Well, it actually slows down the absorption of carbohydrates, including glucose, which is sugar. Protein is a low glycemic food. So a modest increase in protein combined with a modest reduction in high sugar foods leads to weight loss and improvement in your blood sugar control. And that's so important. And you think about it, if you eat protein for breakfast, what does it do? It helps you lose weight. It keeps your blood sugar in the glycemic zone, gives you energy, and a great way to start your day. And how do most people start their day? Bagels and cereal and coffee. Like that's That's the norm. That's how we think of that as a healthy breakfast, but it's not. We need protein every single day for breakfast. So that's where the Neo Life Shake, when you pair it with our Neo Life Shake and our Pro Vitality, is a great healthy start to an energy-filled day.
Mhm.
And here's some great testimonial. This was before Neo Life. It was hard for him to do his job as a police officer. He was introduced to Neo Life Shake and jumped in. It tastes and smells amazing. Now he feels so good. He's training for the SWAT team. This is Solomon. So this is someone we know from Neo Life. And you can see his before and after picture. And this product is actually clinically proven. So it's proven for weight loss, body fat reduction, lowered BMI, heart health, 15% reduction in the bad cholesterol, and improved LDL ratio. And this was published in the American College of Nutrition. And now I'd like to introduce my handsome husband, Henry. He's going to share his story. Can you unmute there, Henry?
Thank you, Maryellen. Yes, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Henry Vandenbrink, and you're speaking to my better half there, or seeing my better half. We were introduced to Neo Life 30 years ago, but just 3 or 4 years prior to that, I used to get pneumonia. I'd get a cold, and then it would turn into pneumonia every year. Like once a year, I would get it. So Maryellen convinced me to take the products, and I did. And today is now 30 years. I have never had pneumonia since. I do get the odd cold, but taking the products on a regular basis is not an issue whatsoever. A day or two, and then you're back going at it again. So you're no problems. I retired about 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago. And one thing I noticed about all my colleagues that retired with me, everyone was on medication. And I was the only one that wasn't. And they'd be on for whatever medication they needed to be on for, but I wasn't, being consistently on Neo Life for 20 years at that point. And to this day, I'm still not taking any medication. Now, I know this is a men's health talk, and prostate's been mentioned, and it's concern for men. Obviously, we're very concerned about it. But it's funny, just this week, I've heard it on the radio, TV, commercials, sports broadcasters. They're all talking about their PSA. Go get your PSA tested. Well, I've been getting my PSA tested for 25 years, and that number from 25 years ago is not much different than the number I have from last year when I got last tested. So these products, Neo Life supplements, that simply work. I don't believe they would be the same. I would be the same without them. You got to take these products consistently every day, which I do, and they just simply give the nutritional information, or not information, but nutritional supplements to my for my body to work properly, and they do. Thank you.
And you haven't aged a day, Henry. Since
No, that's the hairy one. I did shave today.
we had to make sure when Maryellen introduced you that we knew which one was Henry in the picture. Awesome. Thank you so much, Henry.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, you know, you have the energy to play with your grandkids and enjoy life, because so many people retire, and what happens? They end up getting sick and they can't do anything. They can't travel or go places. And that's what life's all about, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we have my dear friend, John. I mean, John and I went to grade school together, and we bumped into each other shortly after I got involved with Neo Life, and he had some pretty serious health issues, and I'm just going to have him share a little bit about his, he's a little funny, so be patient.
It's John Landolfi. I think there's some of you on this chat that know me. I'm a good friend of Nada's. We grew up together. I guess it's been now, what, Nada, about 40 years that we've known each other. And Nada introduced me to the Neo Life products when I was 26 years old. So it's almost 30 years ago as well. And I had a lot of health concerns also. I had bad allergies, bad acne, bad digestion. I had it all at the age of 26, and I thought I tried everything. And then Nada comes back into my life, and put me on a program. And after 3 weeks, really, I felt like Superman. And the thing that I really want to stress here is that I am Nada's age. Gosh, I can't believe her. And I look, I think, way younger than 55. And I mean, that's not me saying it, it's so many other people saying it to me. Yesterday, for example, I was at the gym and I introduced somebody to my daughter. And he goes, "That's your daughter?" I go, "Yeah, it's my daughter." I go, "Why?" He said, "That's your daughter?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" And he was looking at me funny, looking at my hair and looking at me. He goes, "You don't look old enough to have a 22-year-old daughter." I said, "Thank you." And he was 53, so he's a couple of years younger than me. And I go, "I get the secret." And today I sent him some information that I think he'd be happy with that. So anyways, I mean, 55, hardly any gray hair. My brothers always tease me about dyeing my hair. Never dyed my hair once. And I have absolutely nothing else to attribute it to than to these unbelievable products, because stress is in everybody's life. Lack of sleep is in everybody's life. So really, when I compare myself or look at somebody that's the same age as me, I go, holy cow, something has really worked here. And it's GNLD, it's Neolife. I don't know how many different names we have, but anyways, it's Neolife right now. And
oh, sorry about that. Anyway, so that's my dear friend John, who's had, I'm just going to make sure I didn't, miss a slide, but it's really kind of neat when you see people in your life from 30 years ago that have stuck with it, and you can really see the difference. And some other challenges that complaints or kind of challenges that we get from men, as also athlete's foot. Like, so you're looking like at fungal, chronic scaling and thickening of the skin on the soles of the feet, acute redness, scales, again, flare-ups. And there's certain nutrients that really help with athlete's foot, like acidophilus and garlic. So that helps to get the kind of like the candida, which is like an yeast overgrowth. And when I first started, I used to laugh, and people used to say to me, "What, men have yeast?" Absolutely, men can have yeast and candida. And this is one of the challenges. And we do have a yeast cleanse. If it's a chronic issue, then that's something that we can sit down and talk to you about is our candida cleanse. And there all are some topical treatments as well that also help, but it does come from within. So helping internally, I think, is something that you should seriously take a look at. Another challenge with men is impotence. And, diet is so important. Avoiding sugar, caffeinated products, and smoking also inhibit blood flow. Even a small amount of alcohol can cause infertility and impotence in some males. Something that is good is gentle exercise and adequate amount of sleep. Avoid medications, many of which cause impotence. Zinc and vitamin E really help maintain sexual powers. And a new product that we're going to show you a little bit later is Upbeat nitric oxide, also really helps in this area. Again, optimize vitamin D levels is also really important as well. And this also helps to prevent cardiovascular disease as well. So some of the supplements for impotence, these are just some of the nutrients: the B, zinc, ACE, Treanen, Neolife Shake that we talked a little bit about. We have some antioxidants. And again, if you're under a lot of stress, we do have an aloe vera drink that helps with calming. And, we have a herbal product called Masculine Herbal Complex, and also Upbeat. Now, do you need these all? I would say no. I'd say, talk to the person who invited you, talk about your diet, talk about some of the deficiencies, see what could be missing. Start with something as simple as the shakes and the Pro Vitality, and maybe add a couple of things and see how you do. So these are supplements, again, that just help to fill the gap as to what's missing in your diet. But these are the nutrients that tend to help with impotence. Then there's hair loss. Again, so many products that help: the essential fatty acids, the protein, B vitamins. Now, if it's a genetic thing, sorry guys, there's nothing we can do. But if it's like alopecia and it's premature hair loss, then definitely getting on a really good supplement program and using a good quality shampoo like the Neolife shampoo also is fabulous. And then we also have some herbs as well, that also help as well. And what's really neat about the Neolife herbs is they're based on ancient wisdom and modern science to make the Neolife herbal supplements. So they're fantastic, and they really help again to fill those gaps. And our masculine herbal complex is fantastic to regain energy and physical vitality. This is what really helped Trevor with his prostate, with the inflamed prostate. This, along with the omega-3 fish oil, hands down has kept that inflamed prostate completely under control. And it does contain those herbs that promote physical vitality, healthy libido, related to male functions, urinary tract and prostate health, functioning of the nervous system, and healthy blood pressure levels as well. So masculine herbal complex is just one of the herbs that Neolife has. And also for calmness and mental attitude and relieve low mood. So fabulous. And it has the saw palmetto, which is known to support prostate health. Avena sativa, which also helps to support the nervous system. St. John's wort that we hear a lot about, and skullcap, which also helps to support calmness, relieves low mood, and supports positive and mental attitude. It contains damiana, which is also for renewed vitality as well. Infertility, I mean, when you look at low estrogen, you know, that there's so much research on B vitamins also playing a role, zinc and vitamin C, it unclumps sperm cells. So there's so much research out there that good nutrition can just really help to keep that sperm healthy. And, you know, again, we know the foods that we need to be avoiding, like the sugar and the caffeinated products, and again, the smoking, you know, avoiding certain medications. So again, there's so much we can do, and adding Upbeat that we're going to be talking. Actually, we're going to show a quick little video on Upbeat, because this is one of my favorites as a pre-workout, but it's more than just a pre-workout product. Hopefully it will play. Mitch Joseph's coat, Maryellen. With Upbeat, if you want to maybe just confirm, Maryellen, some of the things that are lack as we get older is the nitric oxide.
Yep, as we age, our nitric oxide levels go lower, and that's why our circulation gets so much poorer. And that's the key with it. If you increase your circulation and the blood supply, then it's good for your heart and everything, for all your extremities, right? So yeah.
Awesome. And what about gout? What's up with gout?
And you know, you hear this all the time. It used to be kind of known as kind of the rich man's disease, when you had a lot of port wine and red meat, but it's very, very common now. And it's often identified by a sudden onset of arthritis type pain. Usually starts in the big toe. A lot of times people say it feels like a needle going in your toe, and then it shoots up the leg. It's caused by a buildup of a normal substance in the body called uric acid. But this uric acid, when it's out of balance, deposits in the joints, which causes the pain. Gout attacks can last up to several days and could be triggered by stress, alcohol, drugs, crash diets, illness, processed foods. There's so many causes of it. And again, eating healthy is so important for this type of situation. Mm-hmm. So how do we manage it? Well, eat a healthy diet. Drink plenty of fluids during or between attacks. They actually recommend 8 to 16 cups of fluid each day. And at least half of it should be water, because water cleanses the body. It's like if you go to wash your floor, you can't wash it with juice. You got to wash it with water. You want to, if you're in an attack, you definitely have to avoid alcohol, limit your red meat. Consuming 9 ounces of Bing cherries daily has actually been proven very helpful in gout. And try to identify the food triggers that cause the attacks or make them worse. And you do this through a food diary. And what are some of the supplements that help with gout? You can optimize nutrition with the Pro Vitality. That's the foundation, right? So the tree and end grain concentrates, the carotenoids, the omega-3s. And then oftentimes too, if you're not digesting properly, and you can tell that if you get bloated or feel tired after meals, you may need some enzymes, because if you're not digesting your food properly, it can create a buildup of uric acid. You need good quality protein, full motion. We've had lots of good results with gout with that. And the B complex, and of course, manage weight, because the more you're overweight, the more pressure on the joints. And the Neolife Full Motion is such a unique product. It's actually a high quality source of purified glucosamine, and it's not the glucosamine sulfite. It's a hydrochloride, which is much easier on the stomach. It provides 1,500 milligrams of glucosamine. It's pharmaceutically pure, biological function. So it helps you stay comfortable, flexible, and mobile. That's the key, right?
Absolutely. Thank you. And this is Tibor. This is Francis's husband, who just loves the Full Motion and the salmon oil.
So issues with my hand and my elbows, and so I was taking nothing, because I don't like to take anything. I don't like pills, supplements. I take nothing. But I started seeing my wife got better on Neolife, and then her friends got better with issues, and then her neighbor got better, and I thought, well, I'm not going to get left out. Like, I'm going to try. So I went against my natural inclination, and I've tried it. For 2 months, I was taking like the regular pack. My wife knows everything. And then I was taking salmon oil and magnesium and
Full Motion.
Full Motion. And so I gave it a try. So I used to have to ask, which is kind of embarrassing, after work to ask, used to ask, can you rub my hands, my wife and my son? So after 2 months, actually maybe a month and a half, my hands stopped hurting.
He had really severe arthritis. I don't know if you can hear him, but in his fingers and his hands. And I don't know if you can see in the background, he actually built an addition all by himself. He carried every brick. The pain he had in his hands, and then after being on the products, he could work longer. Again, he used to ask his wife to massage his hands, that he said he was embarrassed, but he's doing amazing and so happy. And even his knees, it took a little longer, but he had severe arthritis in his knees, and that's completely under control now as well. So that's our dear friend Tibor, which is awesome. And now who's this, Maryellen? You have to unmute.
Hey. Well, my name is Winston.
Yep, go ahead, Winston.
Okay. And my wife, Joan, started Neolife. I got involved with Neolife about 28, 29 years ago. And thankfully, she got involved with Neolife because I used to be very active in sports, hockey in the wintertime, soccer, tennis in the summertime. And a few years after we started on Neolife products, I was coaching my daughter's ice hockey team, and without any equipment on, I went full speed, knee first, right into the sideboards and cracked my kneecap. It was swollen probably about 3 times the normal size. So my orthopedic surgeon suggested, just do some physiotherapy and so on, and come back in a couple of years and we'll, have surgery and clean it up. Well, luckily, Joan suggested I go on a program which included the salmon oil, the omega-3, protein and calcium. And to this day, I've never had to go back to the surgeon, never had any surgery. And when I turned 50, which was about a few years after that, I decided to run half marathons. And that time I've done 14 half marathons. I just turned 70 today, or this year, and looking at doing some more half marathons. I was able, with using the products, to attain one of the goals for a half marathon runner is completing it in under 2 hours. I still run today, and looking forward to hopefully do another half marathon with my daughter. I think she's finished with her child rearing, so looking forward to doing half marathon with her.
Oh. And you're an active granddad too, right, Maryellen? Isn't he amazing?
Yeah, you're amazing, Winston. Yeah.
Thank you.
Aging gracefully. So you guys heard some pretty awesome stories from some of our guys that have been with us for many years, and we're actually getting some really neat stories from our younger men as well, especially with our new energy drink that we launched. Amazing stories and testimonials on just mental focus and calming, mental clarity, replacing some of these really bad energy drinks that are out there. It's called Elevate, tastes great. So if you have men in your life or young men in your life that are consuming some of these energy drinks, share the Neolife Elevate with them, and help them understand that they're dangerous. Right now, there's more emergency room visits at the hospitals because of kids taking too many energy drinks. So again, just something that can really help some of our young men or young kids in our life. So Neolife does have total health and wellness solution for so many. And this, again, is a delicious energy drink. It has L-theanine. It does have a little bit of caffeine, but clean caffeine from green tea, magnesium, electrolyte minerals, and it helps with physical energy, mental focus, and again, mood, while hydrating the body. Okay. So you're probably wondering, well, how do I get a hold of these amazing products? Well, it's free to become a member of the Neolife Club. As soon as you become a member, you automatically get a 10% discount. And if you go on what we call a monthly order, a NeoShip, you get 20% off. So it doubles your savings. So even like the Pro Vitality or the salmon oil, it's a month supply. So if you have it coming on a monthly order, it doubles your savings. And you can also get your shipping back for being a loyal customer as well. So it really is just a great place to start. And if some of you that are kind of curious about the income opportunity, I don't know where you can start a business in Canada for as little as $98 or even $75 in the US. And this unlocks a 25% saving. So it gives you a wholesale price. And, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. We work together as a team. And it really is a simple business because the products work. And you've heard some pretty awesome testimonials and stories already this evening. But you know what? When you're looking at the products, here's your core nutrition, your Pro Vitality, your breakfast solution. Adding the Elevate, hands down, is an incredible place to start. And then we have a weight loss solution, which is our Shape Up pack. If you're kind of curious and want to hear more stories and more testimonials, we have a Facebook group on that we can invite you to. We have over 11,000 members now in this group where they share their stories and testimonials. If you'd like to know more, we can invite you to this group as well. So you know what? You decide. If you just want to try the products, give them a try at either a 10% or 20% discount. If you're curious about the income opportunity, just reach out to the person that invited you. I was so grateful that I said yes over 35 years ago, I was able to leave my police career and just dive full time into this amazing journey and truly impact people's lives. And even Maryellen, my dear friend, was able to retire early and later go back to school to become holistic nutritionist and truly impacting people's lives. So it's just a great business opportunity if you're kind of curious about that. So again, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. I will stop the recording and open up to any questions that you may have. And if there's any other health issues that we didn't cover tonight, just ask us and we can help you and guide you in that direction as well. So thank you, Maryellen. Thank you, Henry and Winston, for coming on live. It's so nice to have you guys come on and share from the heart. So I really appreciate you guys.